Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your yearly 2019 overview reading. My name is Melanie. Today I'm using two different decks of cards. The first is called Tattoo Tarot Ink and Intuition deck, of which you can see most of the cards there. The second I use a deck called the Dreamtime Reading Cards, and I use those cards more like oracle cards to get an overall theme for a reading, a year, a month. You can see that single card there. The Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian spiritual belief system, and I just really love these cards and the meanings and the pictures, and at the end of the reading I'll be reading from a booklet about that single card over there called Mountain Strong Foundations. This is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate for you. I just encourage you to take what you like and leave the rest. I hope some of it may be of use for you regardless. So let's just jump in. So starting with I'll just go through each card individually and then go into more detail. So the first card on the bottom left here representing 2018, past energy, perhaps an area of focus that you worked on, lessons learned, things like that. The card that came out for you guys is the Seven of Cups. For 2019 we have the cards all along the back there. The first area representing love and relationships this year, you guys got the Wheel of Fortune card. The second card in the area of money and finances for Capricorns in 2019, you have the Ten of Cups. Third card along the back there representing work, study, hobbies this year, you guys have the Two of Swords. The next card along being about spiritual issues and matters of faith this year, the Lovers card. And in the area of health for 2019, you guys have the Ace of Coins or the Ace of Pentacles. And the final two cards there on the bottom right, representing any possible obstacles that may come up this year, you have the Eight of Coins or the Eight of Pentacles, and the final card there representing helpful tools that may be of use for you this year, you guys have the Empress card. So what does this all mean? I'll just go through one by one. 2018, so last year, and you have the Seven of Cups card. What does that mean? Seven of Cups typically means sort of that nothing is what it first seems. It's a card of choices, but a card of sort of being a bit of a dreamer, being a bit wishful in your thinking, having pipe dreams, trying to decide what dreams are worth keeping and pursuing, which ones you can discard, sort of what's real, what's fantasy, what's kind of illusion. Is there illusion in your life? Are you a little bit in your head in the fantasy and dreaminess of looking at different choices and going, oh, you know, that one looks fantastic, I'm going to win lotto, then I'm going to do this and this and this, and that's not really realistic. But there may be other choices that you had last year that came up in any area of your life that may have been more realistic perhaps, but less exciting, or less kind of that you were drawn to, but you had to choose one. This is a card, it could be, this is being a Cups card, so this is an area typically of emotions, of relationships. Maybe there are a lot of choices, or a choice that you had to make last year in an emotional sense or relationship sense that came up when you least expected it. And that of the choices that you had to make, none were really good, so you just had to pick the best of the worst, really. This card, you know, given that it's choices, it's also about sort of multiple doorways opening up, and you needing to kind of look at all aspects of your life to make a decision make a decision about which one is best. And you need to obviously make good decisions from a good foundation. So maybe there were some struggles there, certainly in making choices or choosing a doorway, or having to face choices that you didn't necessarily want to make, but you kind of had to. Possibly you got a bit swept up in a bit of fantasy, a bit of illusion, a bit of wishful thinking, dreaminess kind of thing, and wanting to sort of stay there, but you had to kind of come down to reality at some point and make possibly some hard decisions, maybe in the area of love or relationships, or more broadly in your life, just things kind of coming up, and you had to kind of eventually pick something. So I know that's really broad and perhaps a bit vague, but that's the card that came out for you guys, a message that came through from the universe via the cards. about sort of perhaps really, I'm thinking maybe really big choices that had to be made for you guys last year, and you were kind of forced into making between a rock and a hard place, say. Anyway, I hope that kind of issue or situation is resolved for you guys. Obviously, not making a choice is still making a choice, so either way, you're still where you were or you're in a different place now. And here we are now in 2019, and looking at the first area of your life this year of love and relationships. You guys have the Wheel of Fortune card. This is a very significant card, one of the most really symbolic cards of the deck. It represents destiny, karma, good luck, life cycles, the cycles of life, fate stepping in and taking charge. It can represent success, manifestation, a new unexpected events, sudden luck, ups and downs, but things ultimately turning in your favour and being on the right path. It's a card potentially about unlocking things, sort of ancient. It's like an ancient compass leading the way, and you're kind of on this path now. And really needing to go with the flow, because the wheel is always turning, and it's kind of better to be in the centre of the wheel observing things rather than being stuck on the outside of the wheel, going up and down and round and getting squished and then coming out on top and getting squished again. But either way, this is fundamentally a really positive card to have in this area, and it suggests that your luck will be changing in the area of love and relationships, and maybe that's luck will be changing for the positive. Most chances are it's going to be positive, and something very much changing in relationships. So maybe on the back of 2018 and certain choices you had to make, this is kind of saying, hey, you've done the right thing, or you've done the best thing, and here we are now in reaping perhaps some karmic rewards. Perhaps either way, good or bad, but I hope good, and this card is generally suggesting kind of good positive changes coming in. It is a card saying that if any sort of risks come up in relationship, actually now's this year maybe a good time to take them, because if whatever's meant to be is going to be, there might be opportunities to go on some sort of joint venture in a relationship. Of course, that could be a personal relationship, could be a work or business relationship, a family kind of relationship. And that despite the changes that may happen in this area this year, and they could be tricky, a lot of people don't like change or are afraid of change, but going with the flow, I think this card is very much encouraging you to go with the flow, to don't fight it, and if you do that, you'll get to where you need to be, because this is kind of the universe guiding you here, the universe supporting you, the universe, coming in to change things and guiding the way, and it's sort of a destiny thing, things changing way beyond the scope of what you had originally planned, but in a really good way with probable good outcomes if you just go with that flow. It's kind of about balance and restoring balance ultimately, and our bodies and the universe constantly working towards balance and homeostasis. If things are out of whack, it works super hard to get things back in whack, and I think this card is saying things are going to get back in whack this year for Capricorns in love and relationships. So beautiful way to start there. Moving on to the area of money, you guys have the Ten of Cups card. This card traditionally kind of means marriage, harmony, happiness, celebration by all, socializing in groups, being together, real like tenderness, love, warmth, pleasures of life, contentment, and really stepping into a fortunate part of your life. So another really positive card, a card that says the storm has passed, now we're in the rainbow, and isn't that beautiful, and good things are coming, lasting happiness coming, especially if there's been difficulties for you, that kind of having gone through that and having gone through any hard work, now there's some really good pleasurable things. And in the area of money, this does suggest good luck, financial abundance, investments going well, being in a position to enjoy the fruits of your labour, and being a card of sort of celebration together in social gatherings and families, marriage and stuff like this. This card also indicates that You'll be able to spend more time with your family this year, probably because money and the area of finances in your life will be going so well. You'll have more time and energy and perhaps more money to focus on family and relationships and what's really important. And to me, that's way more important than money and earnings. Of course, we need to have money to live. But you know, with more money comes more choices, more freedom, more chances to spend it on and be generous with ourselves and generous with those that we love around us. So fantastic card, I think, to have in this area, Capricorn, this year. You guys have kind of struck it lucky there with 2 cards, Wheel of Fortune and 10 of Cups. Moving on to third area there, work, study, hobbies for this year. You guys have the 2 of Swords. So this is a really different energy to the 10 of Cups. This is a card about being in a bit of a stalemate, sort of 2 opposing ideas or beliefs which may be causing conflict or struggle in some way. It's a card of struggle to maintain balance and control, of being sort of in a possibly defensive position and a stalemate, like a truce kind of being held and trying to balance opposing parts. It can suggest being in between things this year, in between jobs, in between relationships, in houses. But given that this is in the area of work, study, hobbies, there may be transitions in this area, or kind of having to decide which offer to take. You know, maybe you're trying to decide between work and study, or volunteer work and volunteer work and study, or do I want to focus on all my energy more on my hobbies and creative kind of pursuits, or but I also need to work and quite tricky. There's an equilibrium in this card, a balance kind of going on, and being sort of victorious in sort of balancing that, but sometimes it's about being a bit stuck, having too many options available, being stuck in the middle kind of thing, and letting your emotions cloud your judgment. And possibly too, this is about being blind to any sort of almost wanting to be blind to possibilities, so you don't have to make a choice about something. The traditional image of this card on a traditional kind of deck, the woman is sitting there blindfolded with the, you know, holding the swords up. She's holding them strong against some water, but it's nighttime too, and there's the moon. The water is emotions, swords are thinking and thoughts. The moon represents often hidden things, the subconscious, the intuition, kind of things unknown quite yet. So maybe there's stuff you don't know about, or you don't want to know about. You're kind of making a decision again by not making a decision. Actually, that's quite interesting on the back of the 7 of Cups card coming up there for you guys last year. You're trying to balance something. You possibly may find yourself though just being a bit resistant to that and a bit inflexible, and causing a bit of tension there for yourself, because you're like, nah, I'm just going to sit here. I'm in a bit of a stalemate, but I'm kind of managing this okay. So what's the problem, people? Kind of thing. It is saying though that ultimately you do need to take action, and you need to have faith in yourself and in the universe. And if you are able to reflect on yourself and reflect on your thought process and go, you know what, my judgment is a bit clouded right now. I'm a bit caught up in whatever crap's going on in my head. I'm going to talk to some other people about this. There's no shame in seeking some help to help you make some decisions, or to see things a bit more clearer and be a bit more objective, because this card is about kind of a subjectiveness, you know, and not really saying, or not wanting to see kind of the bigger picture, and you're kind of a little bit stuck there. So yeah, see how that goes this year, obviously, in trying to kind of work out things in the area of money, in the area of work and study and hobbies. Given that I just said money is a bit of a Freudian slip, you know, I think whatever happens in the area of work this year, financially, it's still going to be good. So keep that in mind and hold that as faith, you know, and to trust yourself that whilst you might feel a bit in between things right now, mentally or actually physically in your life, you've got good outcomes there financially this year. So it's all going to work out. Moving on to the area of spirituality, speaking of faith, you guys, the card that came out for Capricorns is the Lovers card. Beautiful card, you know, of relationships, union, love, attraction, harmony, being in alignment, values kind of being in alignment, choices. There's two people in this card, so it can represent masculine and feminine, Adam and Eve. This is the Gemini card of twins kind of thing, so maybe choices. Oh, again, choices there. Following one's heart to make a choice. This card also represents a blessing from the divine. Changes coming that are good and fruitful and bring, you know, harmony and good fortune. So, you know, lasting kind of love, lasting relationships, being able to sort of trust your own thoughts and opinions, and yeah, there's kind of an innocence to this card as well, of kind of having nothing to hide, you know, and kind of stripped away in the eyes of God, but actually feeling, I think, quite in alignment with your faith this year and the universe, and having a good positive relationship in terms of like twins and masculine and feminine. There's maybe internally inside you guys this year there's quite a balance with that, or you feel in tune with the universe and the universe's masculinity and femininity. So whilst there may, you know, and this kind of thing too about intuition and following and being kind of guided by the universe in that way, and kind of being perhaps in love, or in love with your God, you know, in love with what you believe in, and feeling really loving and lovely and harmonious about that. That there is a really good, positive, trusting path in front of you in your relationship with the universe. I'm just going to say universe, or whatever you choose to believe in there. So a really, and don't forget the blessing there. This is quite a card that suggests a blessing from the divine, you know, of love essentially. So what more do we want than to be loved and in love, and to feel universal love around us? Beautiful, beautiful card. In the area of health and the body, for Capricorns this year, you guys got the Ace of Coins, or the Ace of Pentacles. Ace, brand new stuff. The coins represent, you know, these are practical, earthly kind of matters, typically associated with money, work, career, the senses, the five senses, tangible things, you know, food as well as the senses, sensuality kind of thing. This card represents another offer, say, from the universe. It's a card of fulfillment, prosperity, that something new, a new offer coming your way, that is quite real, or the start of something very real and solid, coming from a good grounded place, a very solid kind of energy, but sometimes quite an intense, quite an intense energy as well. So I guess to be mindful of that, and not to be too stuck in, you know, in that kind of heavy, possibly heavy energy that keeps you a bit too grounded or too solid in yourself. Yeah, so I think that's quite a good positive card, a card of manifesting, of abundance and success, really. So in the area of your health, you know, I think that's quite, there's sort of a positive newness, and sort of this year you may feel quite grounded and quite solid, and hopefully not too physically solid. Nobody wants to feel solid, but that you just feel strong this year in your body, in your health, you know, particularly if you've been having any kind of health problems. It can suggest that there's going to be an improvement in that area. And being an ace, the beginning of new things, this is obviously suggesting this year is going to be great to start new things in the area of health and your physical being, your health habits, lifestyle choices, and whatever you start now is going to set you up for the long term and be a sort of, and you'll benefit health-wise for years to come, because this is a card of new beginnings and a grounded card. So you're going to be laying some really good solid foundations this year in the area of health in your body that are going to be strong and carry on and you'll be able to sort of stick to, basically. So, you know, obviously that could be a different way of eating, a different way of exercising. Maybe you're going to be doing some more meditation or yoga this year. Just really kind of anything new that you try, or anything old that you want to try again and really kind of reinvigorate it. This is a very positive card, suggesting really good long-term outcome and prospects for that are going to changes that are going to stick. Now, moving on to any kind of obstacles that may come up this year for Capricorns. What came out for you was the Eight of Coins, or the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of apprenticeship, like starting out on a new path, or not a new path, sort of having to learn the craft. Again, you know, of in whatever, say something new you're studying or something new you're working on. It's a card of sort of working away in the background, or in the back room. It's a card of employment. It's also a card of, you know, being an apprenticeship card. It's like mastering techniques, mastering things in your life. It's about a period of typically it's about a period of hard work and needing to learn something new, and of that, you know, wealth and positive outcomes come typically through hard work, not always, of course. So in relation to obstacles, this card is a reminder not to give up, which tells me that maybe at times this year in your life you may want to, particularly maybe in the area of work, which may be connected to that Two of Swords card there, being a little bit stuck. There may be times where you just feel like chucking in the towel this year, and you're like, man, I've been toiling away at this for so damn long, nothing's happened, nothing's changing, nothing good is coming. Things may seem boring, they may seem monotonous, methodical, you know, repetitive, or a bit daunting and overwhelming, and that you may feel a bit stuck in the rat race. But this card is saying don't give up. This is an 8. You're nearly at 10. You're nearly at the end. Take pride in small little achievements and accomplishments. Do whatever you need to, I think, to stick it out. You know, if you need to, you know, really practice self-care to sort of get through this period of your life, do it. You know, if you need to get up in the morning, do some meditation or do some exercise, do some journaling, sit in nature, walk your dog, I don't care, pat the dog, make love, you know, kind of thing. Do whatever you need to just get you to the end here. Because hard work and determination will result in success. This is a card about being consistent, toiling away consistently, and I know that can get so tedious and boring, particularly if you've really mastered something and you're like, I know this back to front. There's nothing new and exciting here for me. I'm really, really bored. Don't be too hasty and don't take too many risks because you're sort of caught up in that energy. Think it through, you know, really reflect, find some objective help, which I think comes up there too in the Two of Swords. Talk to someone else, get someone else's point of view and perspective, and really think seriously before chucking in the towel if you get fed up with something or someone. Moving finally into the area of helpful tools, anything that may be useful this year. And to keep in mind, you guys got the Emperor, such a beautiful card of rich, deep femininity, of fertility, of abundance, you know, of success, satisfaction. You know, this is a card of another card sort of marriage, of wealth, of luxury, of beauty, you know, of birthing something new, potentially pregnancy also in there as well. This is a card very much about feminine energy, feminine strength. So whether you identify as female or male, I think this card is really encouraging you this year to stay in tune with the feminine aspects of yourself, because it doesn't matter if you identify as male or female, we all have the masculine and the feminine within us. So a healthy feminine is grounded, she's compassionate, she asks for what she needs, she allows herself to be vulnerable, she's wise, she flows, you know, she's composed in her emotions, she has her emotions, but she's able to kind of manage them or get the help that she needs. She's playful, you know, she's creative, she's fertile, she's authentic, you know, she's deeply in tune with her intuition and is very attuned to other people. So look, I encourage you to ponder that, to Google research what it means to be in your healthy feminine there. just the flip side of the healthy feminine, an unhealthy feminine energy is one of being very critical, you know, being really needy, projecting your stuff, coming from such a place of insecurity, manipulating other people, chasing things, wanting to overly kind of connect, being a bit of a victim, overly self-sacrificing, taking care of everyone else at the expense of yourself. You know, someone with an unhealthy feminine energy will seem quite desperate, you know, will be quite overly emotional, very moody, very overwhelmed by their feelings, too stuck in the feeling realm, not able to think clearly. And they'd also probably have an unhealthy masculine internal masculine aspect to themselves as well. So that's the message, I think, for this year for Capricorns, to tap into their intuition, to their feminine kind of energies there, to be gentle in one's emotions and emotional state, and to, I guess, trust that. This card also can say seek out a person, probably a woman, may not be a woman, but a person who embodies these kinds of really feminine energies that may be able to support you in some way, guide you, help you to kind of work through some stuff that may come up, particularly around decisions that you may or may not have to make, or things that you think you're not seeing clearly enough. Beautiful support coming through there. Finally, the card from the Dreamtime Reading deck. I'm going to read from this lovely booklet here about mountain strong foundations, just to hopefully wrap things up and wrap things together. Mountain strong foundations. Growing up, the author could always see the mountains. A mountain represents strength and firm foundations. It stands strong, magnificent and proud, the same way it has stood for millions of years. With every year, its appearance shows subtle changes as it weathers the storms and the elements. The trees that grow on its face rise and fall, uprooted by the elements. This leaves the mountain face scarred, revealing the cracks and fissures on its surface. But still it does not waver. It continues to stand silent, weathered but unbreakable, proudly wearing every groove and sign of its age. The mountain represents foundations. It reminds you that you need to be grounded and stable as you weather each year of your life. It represents the process of aging and reminds you of the wisdom that comes with each year. It also signifies the strength and durability that comes from laying firm foundations. The mountain's gift is gentle pride, strength and wisdom that comes with age. It reminds you it is not always about what you look like on the outside, but what you know in your heart. Be dependable, share wisdom and support each other in the aging process. The mountain reminds you just how much you can withstand in a lifetime. Beautiful card there. I think that kind of connects a bit to the Ace of Coins, being that really new grounded energy coming in for you with creating a solid foundation in the area of health and lifestyle. I think the Empress also taps in here with that kind of wisdom, the wisdom that comes with age, you know, and that kind of gentle sitting back and kind of knowing that it's not what it's all about on the outside. It's not all about work, it's not all about money, it's about feelings, connections and relationships within yourself, with other people and with the divine. So on that note, Capricorn, I'm ending this reading. I hope it's being of use for you for this year. Feel free to check back and check it out in a few months' time or towards the end of the year if you remember. I don't think I'm going to remember that stuff for other readings, but I really appreciate and I'm very grateful for you watching and or listening to this. If you like it, you know what to do. I do monthly readings, which I'll be putting up again for the month of February, but otherwise, all the best, Capricorn. Hope it's a really great year.